Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the first Mind Matter conversation. We are in Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's really important to me and the work that I do to be able to have these kinds of conversations with an audience like you. We'll be coming on for the next few Mondays here at Mike.com on our live to talk about mental health during Mental Health Awareness Month and talk about how we are all impacted by this COVID-19 moment, but also what are we doing about it? How do we take care of ourselves? How do we take care of each other? You know, for me, the mental health crisis has always been something that's been really important to me. I grew up in a home where we didn't talk about mental illness. We didn't really know much about mental illness. And I learned early on that there wasn't just, issues of depression, but there was also severe mental illness like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. I learned that mostly because of my own family's experience. My brother, who I've talked about a lot, has severe mental illness. And so I became a big support to him. But also, I started to learn that I had my own issues with my own mental and emotional wellness, around anxiety, around depression. And so it became really clear to me also that I needed to get support and I needed to get help. And so I'm a firm believer in people getting therapy. I'm a firm believer in people really getting the support that they need. Sometimes that looks like doing activities, movement. Sometimes that looks like seeing a therapist. Sometimes that looks like getting acupuncture, massage. And it's so complicated right now, given that we can't really be in close proximity to people. So much of health and wellness is being in connection, is being with people. And so how do we get our needs met in this moment? And that's something that we have to collectively figure out. That's something that each one of us will have to individually make sense of right now. And I think that's really, really important. I am going to be bringing in Kendrick Sampson in a couple minutes to talk about mental health, and to talk about how we all show up in this moment. Kendrick's coming into live, everybody. He's connected. Oh, hi.
Hey.
I feel like I've done so many of these. How many have you done?
Yeah, a whole lot of them every day. Yeah, it
It
seems
just
like.
feels like a normal way of engaging with people now. It's like, come on the IG live.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a quick interview platform kind of thing, and can have a whole conversation, and your audience is right here.
How you doing today? How's it going?
I'm all right. I woke up. This actually usually the overcast is a little weird, but it made me feel a little calmer today.
Since we've had so many of these conversations, we're just really taking it to IG live. Why is the mental health conversation so important for who you are? And I've obviously, I saw the article that just came out where you were kind of talking about your anxiety. So I'd love to hear and love to have the audience hear how you're thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, when this pandemic hit, I was in New Jersey and I
Yes.
was starting a new show. I was and so and this show, for many reasons, had my anxiety high already. I was just like, new creatives, new like I didn't know what was gonna. I didn't know what to expect. Okay, and there was a lot of drama surrounding it, but not the show, but like my anxiety. So when this hit, of course, it skyrocketed, and I was thinking for me, and they were proposing like quarantine and these new um, curfews and such, and I was automatically thinking, who's gonna be arrested because of these curfews?
Absolutely.
Who's gonna be, and if people are in quarantine, I'm thinking about myself. I haven't ever been at home this long ever. I haven't ever been home more than a week. I haven't ever
Absolutely.
been home more than a day. I don't stay inside. I just don't do this. So I'm like, what kind of cabin fever is gonna pop up for me? How am I gonna handle anything like this? And I automatically started thinking about people's mental health. Um, and it's like it's just a factor that I think a lot of people don't take into consideration.
I'm wondering, like, what are your tactics right now? Like, what are the what kind of things are you doing for yourself in this moment?
Yeah, I try to get outside. I try to, get a little bit of sun. Even I have a window, and I know a lot of people necessarily don't have the space, but like I have a window that the sun comes directly in, and
Hmm.
I will sit in front of that window if I can't make it outside. I will do work in front of that window. I meditate.
Yeah.
I do my best to pray
Hmm.
a few times a day, be in constant communication with my creator. I am
Yes.
not great at it, but I do my best. I do my best. Some days are better than others. Uh, and I do my best to take care of my physical health. So I try
Yeah.
to get some sort of physical
We
exercise
know if you
in.
follow Kendrick on Instagram, he's usually flashing himself so he can talk about the cause. Last question I have for you is, you kind of named what you're doing for yourself. And I've been kind of seeing this moment without trying to get so woo woo about it, but really seeing this moment as like, how do we imagine a new world? There is nothing that's going to be the same. We cannot go back to what we had. We cannot go back to what we believed in. Everything is going to be different. And so, what opportunities do we have? And so, I'd love for you to share, what you think the opportunity is right now in this moment. That's one. And then, what are some like, what are your top three? It doesn't even have to be three, but what are the top three things you want to give advice to the audience?
I think there's people are primed for an ideological shift. I think that's the big opportunity here. Like people, we were fighting for Medicare for all, and everybody was like, "How are you going to pay for that?" And then they saw the government pulling money out of their ass for corporations and such. They were like, corporations were like, "What are we going to do?" And everybody's like, "You fine." And the government's like, "No, here we go, money,
Yeah.
trillions of dollars,
Yep.
trillions." And so they see the money is there. Capitalism is being exposed. White supremacy is being exposed. The pervasiveness of white supremacy in law enforcement and so many different institutions.
Yeah.
And the need to release as many people in prison as possible. Those who are incarcerated in prison jails and immigrant detention centers and
Yeah.
people are ready for a shift. People
Yes.
are primed to, cancel rent and
Yes.
organize more than ever before because they're stuck at home and they know we need to change and they see that our government is not taking responsibility. They
Yes.
are telling us to stay at home and not make money. They're like, don't make no money, but we not gonna give you none.
That's
You know,
exactly.
even though we got it. Um, and I always have to remind people that those are our resources. They were extracted
Absolutely.
from our communities. It's not, this is not something we're begging for that they have and that we need. It is our resources that they
Absolutely.
took from our ancestors and that they
Absolutely.
continue to take from our communities, especially the most vulnerable, especially Black folks,
Yep.
brown folks, and we deserve it. Uh, but I think the solutions available, because I've been doing my best to take advantage of um, that that spirit of change. I guess
Yeah.
I should say that people are primed for a huge radical shift
Yeah.
because they see that things are so radically terrible.
Absolutely.
Um, and that these systems were built for harm, is one, educating people on what I do know, right? Educating
Yes.
myself on other things. Those are opportunities. Being open to education of capitalism and these police budgets, and I mean, as we see right now, the Mayor Garcetti and the city's talking about $200 million for
Yep.
police right now.
Yep.
How far can that money go
Absolutely.
in relief for our communities? But educating ourselves on what the solutions are by following people like Patrisse, Osobe Patrisse, Reform LA Jails, Justice LA,
Woo!
At Justice LA Now.
Yes.
You can follow BLM Los Angeles, Melina Abdullah. You can follow people like CPD Action, Center for Popular Democracy, Housing Justice for All, Moms
He's
for
dropping the
Housing.
gems, y'all. I hope you got your
Yeah,
notebooks out.
yeah, Moms for Housing with the four. Um, Texas Organizing Project. You met some of those amazing folks
Yeah.
from Texas. These are people that are Dream Defenders. These are people that are organizing for our liberation that have been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
I think that we should all demand there is no mental health care system.
Mm-hmm.
There is no mental health care
That's
system.
exactly right.
there is a there is the American legal system that
Yeah.
continues to torture people with mental illnesses and kill them. 16 times more likely to die at the hands of police if you are um, experiencing a mental episode, a mental health episode.
Yeah.
So, we need to demand a mental health system, mental health care, which,
Yes.
we can't really heal and liberate ourselves without
Yeah.
reparations. So look into reparations as well. I mean, look into abolition. Patrisse can teach you all about abolition.
That's my next book. I'm writing about it.
Come
Okay,
on.
so we are at the half hour mark. That's pretty much how long we all can stand being in these spaces. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Kendrick. Thank you so much, Mike. Come back for Mind Over Matter next week. We're gonna have amazing guests, folks who are both influencers, celebrities, but also practitioners on the ground who are thinking about this work all the time. Kendrick, you're amazing per usual. Come back next week. Thank you, Kendrick, for being my first guest. You're amazing.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Peace.